Good morning. Good morning to everyone. Good morning. Happy Sunday to you all. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. This is a brand new day, brand new week. We made it, y'all. We actually made it to a brand new week. My Renaissance grandmama, how you doing? Much love to you. Thank you for coming in. Thank you all for coming in. We almost at the end of November. Can y'all believe it? We're almost at the end of November. It's getting ready to be a brand new year. And we have been blessed to make it another year. Good morning. All in the soil, good morning. Good morning to you all. Gigi, how you doing? Gigi Naturals Network, how are you doing? Happy rainy Sunday. Good morning, Shy. How you doing? This is a brand new day. You're absolutely right, Gigi. It is raining here in the beautiful Sunshine State. It is raining. We really need the rain. We have had amount of days with no rain whatsoever. And this rain is so perfect right now. It's been a gentle rain. It's been like not a hard rain. It's been a real soaking rain, which is something that is definitely welcome right now. So we're glad to have that. And we're glad to have you all. We thank you for coming in. My good friend, family man, how in the family are you doing? How y'all doing? I hope y'all doing well and welcome on in. Thank you for coming in to Eco Nation News. We're going to get started real soon. We got some hot topics coming, y'all. Just letting you know we got some hot topics. We're going to be talking about all kinds of things. I don't know if y'all ready, but what the honeybees got to do with the RV park and the retirement community? We're going to talk about some of those things. But we're not just going to talk about the honeybees, but we're going to talk about honeybee poop. What does that have to do with an RV park, a retirement community? We're going to talk about a few things like that. We're going to also share a story about an 84-year-old woman who has been forced. She's a widow, and she has been forced, or she's being forced out of her home, the place where she has established, has raised her family, has taken care of her family. She's been forced. And we're going to talk about some of those things. And we're just going to go through a process about land ownership and some of the things that are important about that. We want to welcome you in. Let me see if I can get my phone to sync right here so I can watch the active chat better than what I see it. Bear with me, y'all. Let me get set up. Y'all put in the chat, how you doing? What's the weather like in your area? Let me know what's the weather like in your area. The weather is definitely wet and soggy and damp. It's really rainy in this area. Good morning, Kathy B. How you doing? Grand rising to you as well. Latoya, how you doing, Latoya Brewer? Happy Sunday, everyone. Indiana Jackson, 762. Hey, how you doing? Good morning. Lorenzo Preston, how you doing this morning? Good morning. Thank you for speaking to everybody. Yeah, you're doing good, family man. I'm glad to hear that. Cassandra, South Fulton Garden, how are you doing this morning? Good morning to everyone. We made it, y'all. Another week. Another week. Another week. We can count it down. It's raining where you at, family man. Kathy B, all is well and sunny in Vegas. Oh, my goodness. Wonder what's your temp, Kathy B? Let me know your temp. I'm just curious. Lorenzo Preston, doing well. It's cloudy and sprinkling in Nashville, Tennessee right now. The East Coast, mainly the Southeast Coast, is getting some rain. And we got some cooler weather coming in this week. So I hope you all are ready. Brown Tuesday, Wednesday for my area. Zone now, 9A, used to be 8B. I don't know how y'all feeling about that. We kind of talked about that last week. The verdict is still out. I think what we're experiencing warmer temperature during the heat season. So I think it's boosting our zone up a little bit. But the winter time is still pretty cool sometimes. But I think with this El Nino, we're going to experience some unique weather. But I think according to the weather guys, they say that we got some cooler weather coming in, and then it's going to be followed again by some warmer temperatures, and it's going to be kind of like that battle. I always say about this time of the year, it's the battle of the winter versus the fall. And every time we have a seasonal change, we have this battle. I win, no, I win, I win, I win. Then eventually winter's just going to come and take over. So hopefully we won't have too cold of a winter, Fingers crossed. I got a lot of plants to take care of. We've been dropping a lot of plants in the ground. Me and Gigi been buying plants left and right, and we're just kind of getting ready for this big, great food forest as Dan has in his area. Okay, let's see what we got going on. Indiana Jackson is wet there. Okay. Soul Soldier 70. How you doing? Soul Soldier 70. Drizzle rain in in Ormond Beach, Florida. I know Ormond Beach, Florida. That's a nice area over there. Real nice. Kathy B, 33 degrees. As long as that sun is out, it feels good. Ooh, 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 ooh. You heard that, Shy? 33 degrees. That's Shy kind of weather right there. Family man, please hit. I appreciate that, man. Thank you for sharing. Please hit the like button. I really appreciate that. On a camping trip, stuck in a tent, drizzle rain in Ormond Beach, Florida. Yeah. I got some friends of mine. They went camping this weekend. They went up into the mountains, and it's been pretty cool. Yeah, Shy, you know you like that cool weather. Shy will be in the house with the temp on 75 or 85, one of those. It's all good. It's all good. But hey, we're gonna jump on in there. So as y'all can hear, Sean is doing fine. Sean and the chickettes are doing well. I was able to see one of the little chicklets. I call it little chicklets. One of the chicklets jumped on top of the tote, and so it's making its way to the roof. So that's exciting. We watching them progress. They're getting a little bit more down on they outer coating, and they're getting ready fluffing up for the winter. So another thing, y'all put some thumbs up that the chickens are starting to lay again. They quit laying for about a month and a half, really. I don't know what's been happening. I know that one of the brooders has been just sitting on the nest since we had her, but now she's been like a babysitter. She's been a constant babysitter, and I think now the chicks are getting a little bit older, and now I think they're going back to starting to lay eggs. So we're excited about that. Very excited about that. Miss Native, how you doing? Miss Native Cherokee 70. Good to see you today. Always good to see you in the chat. Good to see you. Kathy B, the fireplace is burning, and I'm just under the electric blanket. Electric blanket must be nice. Must be toasted and nice. I can remember growing up when we had the electric blanket, and I tried my best not to pee in the bed. I remember that was kind of like a scare because they used to say to the kids, if you pee in the bed, you're gonna get electrocuted. So don't be peeing in the bed. So I used to always kind of be paranoid because I didn't really wet the bed, but I don't know. It just seemed like the pressure of the heat and me thinking about not doing it. Kathy B, excellent. Thank you. I appreciate the encouragement to the chickens. As you all know, Miss Annabelle and myself, we've been plugging along. I hope y'all seeing the videos. Hope y'all been watching the progress. We have been plugging along with it's a lot of first maintenance we have to do. But now we think we got the maintenance down pretty good. We're gonna let everything kind of regrow a little bit. And then we're going back to cutting and clearing and organizing some things. So me and Annabelle, I've been trying to be cautious with her, been patient with her, trying not to push her too hard. And so we've been working on the land, and we've been knocking out some stuff. More to come. I'm getting everything ready for this spring coming up. Want to have some plots and places we can grow some things. I want to work on Gigi's vineyard. She wants a vineyard. It's a couple of things I want to really get in place and get some foundational pieces in place. And we're going to also be working on a greenhouse. And I want to do a greenhouse / studio. So for days like this, I can be in this greenhouse studio. So that's going to be coming up in the future. We're going to be working on some cabin upgrades, trying to finish off the sheetrock. So we got a lot of things going on this winter. This winter, we're going to be very busy, but we're going to be consistent and we're going to be steady. So definitely looking forward to that. Congrats. Mine stop. Here we go. All in the soil. Congrats. Mine stopped laying for a long time too, but now they're back on it. I'm glad to hear that. All in the soil. Glad to hear that. I've been watching the videos. I appreciate that, Kathy B. Thank you, Kathy B, for the support, and thank you for watching. All right, let's go on in. So yesterday I did clear a spot that I showed you almost at the end of the video. I ran into a snake. I've been clearing quite a bit. Haven't seen too many snakes, but this one right here, it kind of threw me off. He was all curled up. He was all bundled up, and he was shaking and ready to strike. Strike, strike, fam, you strike. Yeah, he was ready to strike, right? And me and Annabelle took care of it. Just put it like that. We took care of it. So RIP to the snake. Normally, I let a lot of snakes go because I want to preserve nature and keep it right. But this one right here, he really crossed me. I felt like now I understand I turned over his home, but a lot of them, they just go ahead and scurry off and go about their business. And I let them do that. But this one right here, he wanted to just, I don't know. He was a little too aggressive. So we can't have that. We can't have aggression on Eco Nation. So needless to say, rest in peace. Let's see. Another thing that I wanted to talk about. My question to the chat. If it didn't matter about your grow zone, if it didn't matter what location you was at, what would you grow if you had the opportunity to grow? I want you to put it in the chat. I'm just curious. What were some of the things that you would grow that you can't grow now, or you're limited on your grow and you're not growing due to your climate or due to your time or due to space? What are some things that you would grow? I know one of the things I would grow would be some of the more tropical plants. Love to grow more mangoes. I would love to grow sour sop. I know we got some. We're going to baby it to the best. More palms, definitely more palms, and some of the palms that cannot take the colder climate. It does freeze in my area here, so I have to be very, very mindful of what we plant, and we try to plant things that's going to be successful. So tell me about some things you would plant. Cats be so, oh heck no, yeah, they out here, y'all, they out here. All varieties. I seen varieties I haven't seen since I was a child. Y'all remember that video with the coral snake? I haven't seen it. I dreamed of a baby rattlesnake last night. I dreamt of, matter of fact, Miss Cherokee, I dreamt about 4 or 5 snakes last night. One was a gigantic snake. It was black, yellow, and white. And that's about the second time I dreamt about a black and yellow snake within the last month or so. But this snake was huge. I'd never seen a snake this big. It actually more than a snake. You know what it really looked like? It looked like an earthworm, except big and wide and fat. But imagine something about 4 feet in width, or maybe diameter, I should say, 4 feet in diameter. But it was black, white, and yellow. I don't know. Maybe it was a stiller snake or something like that. I don't know. Kathy B said, that's some good meat, though. Tastes like chicken. Okay. All right. I wouldn't know that unless they tricked me into it. Bell peppers and tomatoes. We lost them when it got cold. We're growing we have overwintered some peppers in our previous home. I want to try to overwinter some now. We have some now. I know when it gets cold, we're going to have to definitely bring them in. But that's definitely some things I would like to keep. Limes and avocados. Yeah. So we're growing some limes. I don't know, Gigi, if we have some avocados. I'm not sure. Avocados are tricky. I did have 2 avocados, but they did not make it. I know the cold got them. So many things. Come on, tell me some. Tell me a little bit about some of them. Coconut oil is really good for dog fur and skin. Okay. All right. That's good to know. I got some coconut oil. And I've been battling with ticks and fleas with Shaka and Musa. Shaka and Musa been kind of battling, but I think I got something for them. I've been trying it. I have not seen them. And when I pet them, I don't really find too many ticks. And this took place really quick. The verdict is still out because I tried some other things before, some sprays and some other things. It lasted maybe a day or two. And after stuff like this, the rain or water, they're back to the same thing. That was God showing you to look out. Hey, I listen, family, man. We all gotta listen, y'all. We all have to listen to and pay attention. Good morning, Brenda King. Good morning to you. Blessings to you too as well. Good to see you. The mother snake and many babies. I don't like snakes. I don't care too much for snakes neither. They can so they you can easily walk by snakes and not even see them. This particular snake, even though it had a diamond shaped pattern on its back, it it just meshed in so well with the earth that you could tell it was there. I felt this, I sensed that it was there before I saw it. And you always, when you're out here navigating, you're always looking around, making sure you're not stepping on anything. That's why I like to keep the pathways and keep everything kind of clear so you can easily see them. But sometimes you still can't see them because the path was clear. But I could see it, but I felt it before I saw it. 4 feet, yeah, 4 feet in diameter. I mean, in my dream now, I'm not talking about the real snake now. Don't get twisted. I said in my dream that snake was thick, thick. I mean, real thick. I never seen a dream before. So Family Man says pears and bananas. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Onions are great for the winter because they can survive down to 20 degrees in warm environments. Cilantro grows like crazy. I love cilantro. I love cilantro. I need to grow some more. Thanks for that reminder. I would grow peppers, tomatoes, potatoes, heirloom herbs, spinach, and asparagus. That sounds like you're putting together a salad right there. That's nice, very nice. Yes, the fact it's oil, it kills the mites also. I gotta try that. I gotta try that. I have two avocados sprouted. I can I can bender keep I can barely keep them alive though. Saw a tree at the nursery for 160. Don't do it, Sha. Don't do it, Sha. I'm telling you from my experience with trying to grow avocado, unless I got a greenhouse or something I can put that thing in. Uh, I'm not telling you what to do, but as a friend, I wouldn't recommend that. Put your 160 somewhere else. We all watching snakes all around the world. I take it as warning dreams. Hey, I mean, all animals can be dangerous one way or the other. Even a squirrel can bite you to death if you let it. I mean, if it can bite through what it bite through. I don't know how many people been attacked by squirrels. There's a girl. How you doing? Good to see you. Good morning. Dawn, soap, and then diatomaceous works on. You know what? You're absolutely right. That works for us mainly in the summer dry times. When it's like this and the weather changes, diatomaceous earth time it rains is gone. And then on top of that, dawn, it quickly washes away out here in these woods. And these dogs, they live actually on the land. They're not in a they're in a contained area, but they're outdoor dogs. And so we wanted these dogs to primarily be outside. We didn't really want any indoor dogs. We're looking for these dogs to be our guardians, our alert system, and also to keep foolishness down. They've been doing pretty good. They chase everything though. Sometimes that bothers me because I love birds, I love pollinators, I love hummingbirds, and sometimes it can be frustrating because they chasing every single thing, anything that moves, they own it for real, for real. So Miss Native, definitely many different bananas, Fuyu persimmons, my tangerines. Excellent. Hey, the experience with Sassy. How you doing? Good morning to you. Good morning to you, and welcome in. Thank you for coming in. Bayou. Good morning. Good morning. Your lemon tree desert. I understand. I understand. So it sounds like we got a lot of different things we would like to grow, and if we had our wish, we could grow them. I say try them, but understand you might have to baby them. But trees will probably be a little bit more harder than plants. So just keep that in mind. You have to build a place for them. You know, some of the trees like citrus, you can keep them down to maybe 4 feet and they can still produce. They just got to build that good bark system that they can hold the fruit. So you could create some kind of containment or some kind of container environment to protect them from certain colds. And it may involve a little bit more work, but you can grow a lot of citrus as well. Let's talk about Tyson Foods. So all of you all know that Tyson Foods have been in the news and always in the news. But I did want to give an alert system to our brothers and our sisters over in Jacksonville, Florida. The Tyson Food Company that was recently purchased a few years ago, it will be shutting down. Tyson Food before 2024 will be shutting down 8 locations. I don't know if you all understand the impact that Tyson Foods impact communities, a lot of the rural communities. Tyson Food is a blessing to a lot of people, a lot of rural families, a lot of people who may not be working in farms or working in agriculture, but some way, if you're working for Tyson, it is an agriculture business, but it provides a lot of resources in a lot of rural communities. But right now, Tyson Foods have plans to close 8 locations. That's on the average. Like the one in Jacksonville, you're looking at about 200 plus employees without a job before 2024. And my thing is, it reminds me of when I was employed back in 2009, 2010. You remember that old '08? One good thing about it, the job economy is still kind of strong. It's still kind of robust. It's kind of slowing down in comparison. But one of my recommendations, if you are working with Tyson Farms or you are working with different places, the reason why we need to support our technical institutions, our technical programs, is because those are quick launches to get you to transition in your career. Try to, if you're in that community, look at your local educational system. Also ask Tyson Foods, do you all have educational plans to transition with some of this? Please forgive me, my nose is constantly running right now because of this moisture and this humidity is all over the place. So please bear with me. But one of the things that I wanted to encourage those of you all who may be impacted by that to don't be distressed, up your game, change your career sometimes, go to some of these technical programs. If you can, I've been really, really seriously looking at because as we get older, we basically, have you ever looked at yourself as a stock? You're worth so much, right? And as you get older, sometimes either your stock will increase depending on your skill set, depending on your experience, or sometimes it can decrease. In order to maintain value, when you got a younger working group that's coming behind you, we don't have a lot of old heads that's coming in. There are a lot of them, they're leaving and retiring. Now we having some old heads are coming back to work because of inflation. So we got a lot of mixture going on, but the majority of the workforce will be led by people that's under 40 years old. And when you got people that's under 40 years old, they're going to typically hire younger people or people their age. So some of the older people, as you transition, and if you get this kind of unusual job change, consider looking at different things, looking at short-term programs. Of course, do you want to do 4 and 5 and 6 years? I wouldn't recommend 4 and 5, 6 years of education, but there's a lot of short-term. You got real estate, you got insurance, you have IT. There's a lot of certification you get in IT. Don't be intimidated because you can use some of your skill sets in the IT world. The IT world still needs business analysts. They need customer service. They need people who are in management and supervisory skills. So you can take on some courses and some certifications, and then you can build your experience on that side. And then with those certifications, it can get you into some of those IT fields. And some of them IT fields you can complete within either a year or less than 2 years, and it can change the whole trajectory of your career. So those of you all who may be facing some of those situations, consider that, or consider maybe entrepreneurship. Leverage some of your experience, some of your skills that you've learned over the years. Leverage that, and don't be dismayed. Don't give up. Don't give in. And it's okay. You can go in this 2024 year winning and killing it. So just understand that it's just a pivot. Just pivot, y'all. Don't be dismayed. So we got quite a few people, and it won't be just food, Tyson Foods. I try to keep everything in balance with homesteading, with off-grid living, and with our gardening. So that's the reason why I picked Tyson Foods. There will be other closings, but as I said, you can do the same thing. There's a lot of different things that you can do. Hey, Brother Lawrence, how you doing? Good morning, man. Welcome on in. See Vision, how you doing? Thank you. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Thank you, C Vision. So here are some other highlights in the news that I want to kind of talk about. Private landowners have been slowly acquiring some land. Let's talk about this 80-year-old woman in Alabama, Miss Woodson. First of all, we want to send support and prayers out to Miss Woodson. And we're praying not only just for her to be okay, but we're also praying for legal guidance, legal support, and anyone that may be a lawyer, attorney, or know somebody, you may want to share this story. So just look it up. It's all over the news, 84-year-old woman, or it may not be all over the news. I just found it in my news feed, but an 84-year-old woman who is about to lose her property. So let me give you some history about what happened and what led her to this point. And I'm telling you, she is not the only one. I remember throughout my life, there were several older people who were forced out of their homes. I know personally, my uncle, for example, he owned a piece of property. And I shared this before. My uncle owned a piece of property, took pride in that property. I remember helping cleaning that property off. That's what inspired me to acquire property, because he bought his property when I was a young boy. And I remember growing up when we would go and look at the property. I remember we would go and work on the property. We would clear trees. We would stack the trees, cut up the trees. We would burn. We would create burn piles. We would sit in his truck and we would dream about how he would build. I didn't understand at that time, but his homestead. He was a visionary where his cookout pit was going to be, where his sheds were going to be, where his workshop. He loved woodworking. He had everything laid out. And I remember going through that process. So with that said, here it is where Miss Woodson, she is at the tender age of 84, shouldn't be worried about this, have done everything right, who had raised her family, who's taking care of everything. And here she is, a widow who's about to lose her home. So there's a private landowners. They have been slowly acquiring the land. We're talking about a 40-acre parcel. So in the early 1900s, a man he acquired a piece of land. And for an African American to own 40 acres during the early 1900s, that was pretty major, even though there was a lot of landowners that acquired because agriculture was big. But this individual owned 40 acres of land, and he passed away, and he left the land to his kids or their heirs, whichever one came first. And so with that said, over the years, the family, they took the land, and what's that's called? That's called tenancy in common. Now, if you don't have a will, and if you don't leave a will, and some people do leave a will, some people have trust, some people they may go through probate if they don't have a will. So if I own a piece of property, and if my wife passes, God forbid, she passes before I pass, and then I don't have a will, it's going to go to probate. And probate, I want to keep saying, court is not the best avenue when you have solid intentions for your family success. Whether you're married, whether you're going through divorce, whether you calling a law, whatever, court can be the mediation or the piece to bring the pieces together, but you no longer have control of the results. You now are at the mercy of the judge's decision, right? So here we have the tenancy in common. That's when the land is jointly owned by members of the family, all right? So everybody own a piece of the family. All his kids own a piece, and some of the ones may have passed, and their kids own a piece of it. So her husband was one of the sons that owned a piece of the land. Now, he passed, but over the years, this private company has been coming in, and they have been buying pieces of the land, right? They've been buying pieces. So tell me what y'all think about this. A private company comes in, and they've been talking to the siblings, and they've been slowly acquiring a piece of land. Y'all put in the chat about what you think about that. And we're gonna continue. Let me go to the chat. I don't want to lose nobody. Let's see. Everybody saying hello. Adrian, how you doing? Thank you. I appreciate you calling up live too, Brother Lawrence. Welcome on in. Passionately, Intrigue Arts, how you doing today? Good to see you. Let's see. Everybody speaking, everybody speaking. Sweet Thumb, how you doing today? Good morning, good morning. All right, so we're going to continue on to the story. So, um, one of the things that kind of really triggered me is that these private landowners, these investors, it's a group, and I'm not going to call their name because I'm just reading from one point of view from one article, but I just feel it still happens every single day. So I'm not gonna go in on that. But one of the things that kind of triggered me is their percentages are getting higher and higher. So as family members are selling out the land or liquidating the land, some for whatever reason, some people never plan to go back to where they grew up. Some people say, hey, I'm struggling where I am. I'm trying to make ends meet. Some people say I can turn that land, that money into something far greater and leave something for my seeds. No judgment whatsoever on that. Whatever it takes, whatever you do, it's still one of the process. You got people that still living on the land, and we have to consider those people that still live on the land because that's our family still. That's still our bloodline. So sometimes when we do things, we got to understand that it's not just a result of what you're doing, but it's a result of everyone else. One of the things when you leave land and tenancy in common, it's kind of like a timeshare. A timeshare, everybody pays into that building and that piece of property. Everybody pays into the maintenance. Everybody pays in a portion to the taxes. Everybody pays in because it's tenancy in common. So whether you own 90% or you own 10%, everybody is responsible for maintaining, keeping taxes, keeping insurance, keeping everything in order. Okay. So that's what makes this thing a little bit more dicier versus if the land was portioned off into certain segments. One thing is some people leave, if you had 40 acres and you had 5 kids, you might leave certain portions or acreage off to each individual child. And you might go through the property, you might go through the courts and divide the property up and let that be trickled on down. That could be something different. But this was jointly owned by all the kids. So that's what made this one a whole lot more dicier. So whether you own 10%, 15%, or 30%, everybody was all in the pot, right? Now this company knows the process. Now, now near this property, there are lots that are selling for $500,000 per lot. This is where they got the interest in this land. Of course, as family owners been selling this land, they didn't know that the values was increasing like crazy like that. So a lot of the family members didn't even get nowhere near what they was going to get. So these investors, they know most of the time if you get an investor seeking to buy anything from you, it's almost like a job. If you go work for a job and they say you're making $42 an hour, you're worth more than that if you get hired. They're trying to get it at a lower value so they can get a return on the value. Same thing if someone comes and say, I want to buy your car, they're going to want to get some money. And nothing wrong with that. As long as you're comfortable with making the $42 an hour or taking that offer for that car. And if you can take that offer and they can turn around and make more money, you don't have no problems with that, sell it. By all means, if you need to do that, nothing wrong with that. Just understand the game. The game is real. And people are coming in and they're doing that. And as people, the reason why I'm bringing this article up, things are going to get a little tighter. They're going to get a little closer. And you may get opportunities to do some things. I just don't want to leave you with no regrets, no long-term regrets. So here it is where they now have taken, they want to buy up the remaining portion of the land. And so now they've taken things to the court system. Here it is where they're at the court system. There were deadlines that should have been met. Ms. Woodson didn't meet it. Ms. Woodson says the reason why she didn't meet it, her daughter is a licensed real estate agent. Her daughter said, along with some other family members that still stayed on the property, said, they can't take our land. We own this land. They can't just take our land. When you go through the court system, And remember, what they did, they said if someone, part owners, can't reach an agreement, then they can take it to the court, and the court system can make the determination on how the land will be distributed. So if you are in charge of land, you do have certain assets, someone can challenge you and take you to court. And when they take you to court, yeah, I don't know. I just don't like it. I don't like it. Now the company privately owns 49% of the land, almost 50% of the land, because of family members have sold it. So these are some of the things that are happening. And Miss Woodson, from what I understood as I'm following this story, she has 1 year. Things didn't go well with the court system, but she has up to 1 year, or she can have up to 1 year if they do win. Once it's final, she can have up to 1 year to kind of find her way. Imagine you're 84 years old, man. Come on. Really? But it happens every day. And people say like this, business is business. Business is business. But there's no social piece to none of this. No social. Okay. Business is business. I get it. I get it. But one of the things that I would like to encourage you all to do is set your house in order. Learn the laws and learn what happens, and try to put yourself in a situation where you're winning. So let's transition from that article. Thoughts and prayers go out to Ms. Woods and anyone that's going through that situation. Fight, and take it serious. Don't just take word of mouth. If it's not in writing, it did not happen. If someone tells you something and they didn't put it in writing, and they didn't send that writing to a court of law, it didn't happen. One of the things, if you're in a rural area, you're considering buying in a rural area, something that's been newly released is that USDA and the SBA are teaming up to help develop a lot of rural communities, rural farmers, rural development. So this is something that's been a big push that the United States Department of Agriculture, as well as the Small Business Administration. Small business, for some of y'all that don't know the Small Business Administration, anytime there is a disaster or anytime there are a lot of things that happen, natural disasters that happen, we run into them a lot in the state of Florida, like a hurricane come in. The SBA don't only help Small Business Administration, they don't only help small businesses to build and to grow, but they also switch their hats and they help during emergency response. So a lot of times you'll have, like, say your house was hit with a hurricane, God forbid, but it was hit with a hurricane and your area was ruled as it was ruled as a disaster area, right? By the governor, by the federal government, whatever. And once it was hit, a lot of people don't realize they have insurance, but they haven't read the property insurance. And sometimes to seek lower rates, monthly rates for your property insurance or yearly renewals to bring your payments down, you may have this like deductible, similar to your car, $500 deductible, $1,000, $250 deductible. A lot of homeowners, they have a percentage. It could be 1%, 2%, 2.5%, 3%, 4%. So imagine if you have a $500,000 house and it's 1%. That's how much you have to have before they even start to work on your home, right? Or the insurance will be able, that's your deductible, or if it's 2%, or if it's 3%. Some people don't have $40,000 and $50,000 after a natural disaster. Some people just everyday working, they don't have $14,000, they don't have $13,000 stashed away. So a lot of times the SBA will come in and they'll help with a small emergency loan at a low interest rate. That is very valuable to a lot of homeowners during the situation. So what these two organizations, they both backed by the federal government, we pay into these systems, right? They have teamed up and now they are strategically helping and assisting. And there's a list of different communities and different things like that. So if you're in a rural area and you need some infrastructure, you need some things as far as you're a farmer, you have a business, especially if you have a small business or you're into farming, any type of small business, which I will really, really promote. If you own property, try to tie in a business to your property. You can have a lot of blessings to happen if you just look for those opportunities. So do the research, but check with your local SBA as well as your local representative for the USDA as well. So for some of those opportunities. Passionate tree. Let's see. My brother had a will, didn't get it notarized. It was not valid because of that. I am the executor of his estate, and it is still in probate 18 months later. Y'all see what I'm talking about? Yeah, OMG. You're right, Sass. OMG. But you know what? Let me give you a word of encouragement. I acquired some property, like not land, but cars, some old classic cars. I acquired some from a family. They was in probate for over 7 years. There was an uncle, a great uncle, actually. Well, it was an uncle. He passed, had thousands of acres. He didn't have no wife, didn't have no kids. And he had nieces and nephews he took care of like they were his own. And they were fighting left and right for all of his assets. And they got into it real bad. It went through probate. And it ended up lasting for over 7 years. I couldn't imagine that. But what ended up happening, I think it was out of Indiana. A great nephew ended up being the executor or the executive of that estate, and he had to liquidate everything and then return it back, and then they had to distribute it, and everything was laid out on how it was going to be distributed, and no one got anything until everything was liquidated, which took what he said, it stopped him from farming. He owned acres and he had to travel, commute back. It's taxing, y'all. It's a lot on the family. It's a lot on the family. And I get it. We as landowners, we really want to leave something special to our generations. But please, please, y'all. Oh man, I wish you passionately intrigued. I wish you had that you seek an attorney. I'm not going to get into that, but if it's in writing, I don't know about that. I don't know. I know it wasn't notarized, but if it's in writing, and that's the crazy thing about probate. Not probate, judge. A judge has to make the determination whether it's factual, whether it's not. The judge is doing the best the judge can do. And in probate especially, there's not a lot of attorneys out there. And they know some of these attorneys. And if you pick the right attorney, it get real squirrely. And I don't like it. Please put your stuff in writing, get your stuff together. Please, please, y'all. I don't care if you own a quarter of an acre, a slither of an acre, a car, a dog, a pony, a horse. Put your stuff in writing, please, y'all. Please. Yes, you have an attorney. Yeah. I hate that. I hate that because I think based on not knowing the details, I think that the judges has made the determination that, hey, I'm going to try to do the fairest thing that I possibly can do. So I pray and best wishes to you through that process. And then you got to go through not only bereaving, but you got to still keep going through that whole process. So thoughts and prayers go out to you. There's an app called Acres. You can use this to see names on properties. It is a trial app and will expire. I forget how long. Sweet Thumb, thank you. Now, one thing that's totally free and that I've used over the years is the property tax assessor's office. Now, granted, I've been witnessing in different states Some states have protection rights, and they're not allowing a lot of public records to be viewed. And some people in law enforcement, judges, certain types of high risk, secret service, all kinds of stuff, they can have their records hidden. But the majority of the property, I'm going to say the majority of the properties, you can look at the property and you can look at it. You can go to that county, whichever the name of the county. You can just simply Google the name of that county that you're interested into. And if it is not raw land, if it has a physical address, you can key in a search on that physical address and you can kind of go down through there. And then what I would do is follow up with your county court systems and ask to pull the doc and the deeds on it. You can have a copy of that too as well. Yeah, many blessings to you. But you're strong enough. That's why you have it. I know you got this. Good morning to everyone. Grace, guys, how you doing? Good morning to you. Good morning to you. So, Growing with Hudson. How you doing, Growing with Hudson? Good to see you. The Educated Natural. How you doing today? Loving your shows. Loving your content. Great job. So let's keep going. Let's talk about these bees and bees poop. What the bee and bee poop got to do with an RV park and a retirement community? So you all know I got to pull my news from the beautiful state of Florida. Florida has some of the most colorful news, I should say. So I'm going to give you a high-level overview. There is, imagine this, you're in the golden ages of your life. And notice the tie into this, honeybee, golden ages. I know it's corny, but hey, just go with me. You're in the golden ages of your life. You have an RV, and you say, I'm going to Florida. I'm going to live in my RV in a nice resort, right? Or I have a little community that's mixed with RV, a little mobile homes. I'm going to retire in the beautiful state of Florida. And in this nice resort, there's golf carts and little roads you can drive down. They got a pond, they got lakes, they got all this beautiful stuff. But then there's a plot of land that sits about 500 feet across from this RV. And an individual that owns a portion of this, he decided to grow some bees. So there's a grower. I don't know whether he leased the land, I don't know whether he owned the land, but he put in quite a few beehives back in 2022. And these beehives, the people that have been at the RV park have noticed that these bees are growing in a larger and larger number. They can't go outside. One lady said she can't even go to the mailbox. They're everywhere. They walk outside, they step outside their RV, they see a bunch of honeybees on the ground. A lot of them are dead. But one of the biggest pet peeves that they have been griping about is the poop. This one individual said, I didn't know what was going on. Over my golf cart, over my cars, over my RV, I see this yellow tight film. And they went to investigate what is going on with this yellow tight film. Come to find out, they said that there's a bee poop. So they are complaining and they are frustrated. And the owner of the bees says, hey, how do you know that they're my bees? And you know about Florida, they like to take stuff to court. They love to take stuff to court. But how do you know that they're my bees? And some of the people say, we never had this issue until you did what you did a year ago. So they've been going back and forth, fighting amongst each other, right? The owner of the beehive say, why don't you just put a cover over your cart and your cars? That can be very simple. You can just put that over there. No different between sap on a tree or anything else that you want to keep your vehicles. But they're saying it's costing them hundreds of dollars to keep and maintain their material. So my question is, I remember there was a shortage and decreasing of bees, especially in the state of Florida. And I remember the Department of Agriculture did some pushes and did some marketing to increase more beehives and bee growers. And I'm left with this. What do you do in a situation like that? Do you kind of work around those situations? It's almost like them Canada geese. It's almost like a lot of different deers. It's almost like alligators. All of a sudden, there was very few, and then there was a whole lot because of doing conservation and doing the pumping up. Are they really taking it out of control? Now, I get it. If you're allergic to bees, I totally get it. But my question is, should they find a happy medium, or should the bee grower maybe reduce the amount of bees, or maybe move it to a location? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that? Black Guns Garden, how you doing? How you doing? Mazik LB, how you doing? What, put it in the chat. What do you think? What do you think they should do? Should they just put a cover over the maybe the vehicles? The is that really an issue? Should they really be complaining about that, or is that really not an issue? Y'all put it in the chat. Tell me what you think. What do you think? I'm going to wait on your answer. Tell me what you think. And another thing, if anyone would like to come up, please come up. If you'd like to just share a few words before we close out, please come up. You're welcome to do it. I'm going to put the link in the chat. If you just like to say, hey, hello, please come up. And if you like to talk about one of the topics that we talked about, come on up. Please feel free to come on up. You need space for beekeeping. Yeah, you need space. And apparently 500 feet is definitely not enough. I've never kept bees. I definitely believe you need space for bees. But he's doing well if he got that much bee growing in that short period of time. So Desi girl said, we need the bees, just cover the car. Just cover the car. Some people say just cover the car. Sound like they are just some complainers. Just cover the car. Yeah. But some people say they're having problems walking to just check out the mail. They can't even sit out on the patio. They said that film is all over their RV. Some people invest a lot of money in their vehicles, a lot of money into their little golf carts. That's real. Beekeepers should give some of those bees, maybe some of the honey. Yeah, that could be a compromise. I don't know. Do you think that would kind of curtail some of that? Happy Mac, I'm sorry. I hope you're feeling better. Hope you're feeling better too. Happy Mac. They need a happy medium, whatever that would be. I don't know. And that's my thing. I don't know what would be a happy medium if you have a large amount of bees. Now, one thing I hear on this property, we got a lot of bees. We got a lot of bee growers around us too, though. Almost all these fields, you see beehives, and some of them, it's quite a few beehives. And you can definitely tell some days, especially the sunny days, you come out, there's quite a few bees. And if you have, like, some of my water hoses may have a little slight leak in it, and it'd be surrounded by bees trying to drink some water. Use a bee repellent. Mark. Yeah, you could do that, but you're gonna kill your bees, you know what I'm saying? Well, get a bee catching box, and what moves in is now their bees. So what? Yeah, I get it. I get it. Beekeepers should compromise and find any way to at least stop damaging other property. Bayou. That's what the residents saying. The residents saying, we've been here, right? I don't know if they've been there before bees, but before that many of bees. Basically what happened, you done brought in a whole bee hood, and the whole bee hood, the project bee hood is right next to you, right? And now you got people looting, people defecating in the streets, people just harassing people just doing all kinds of stuff. They stealing pollen, they stealing everything. They starting to rob people from getting their retirement checks from the mailbox. It's just going, the bees going wild, man. So imagine the project bees are set up next to you. You got these project bees, they straight thugs, and they don't care. They don't care at all. They don't care about your property. They don't care about none of that stuff. Period. You have to understand bees. They have a natural GPS. You don't want anything interfering with this route. Hey, they don't want nothing messing with it, y'all. I mean, they got territory. They got territory. And now they done set up and they set up shop. And not only do the retirees have to compromise, but the bees got to compromise too. They will 100% be paying for the car wash. So that goes back to the bee owner. The bee owner said, look, man, I built the projects. I mean, I collect the rent, but I can't control what happens. And then how do you know them bees from my project? How do you know they from my hood? He's saying, how do you know that these bees from my hood? Some of them bees right there, they done brought in other bees. They done brought in bees from other places, straight thugged out bees. Bees from the north side, from the west side. They could be bees from the north and from the west side blowing up the spot. How y'all know? How you know? So the landowner said, just because I built the hood, don't mean I brought in these thugs. And how you gonna prove it? How you gonna prove it? So who paying for the car wash? I'm just asking, who paying for the car wash? And then you bring in these queens, right? And they fine, and the hive is getting thicker and thicker, and they got all kinds of, I don't know whether we want to call it prostitution. They doing all kinds of stuff over there. They doing all kinds of parties over there in the beehive, right? We got the beehive, it popping. I mean, the clubs, the everything. And, with all that drinking, all that pollen and all that nectar and all that stuff, you get the bubble guts, you get the loose stomach. You can't control some things, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you might be drinking a little too much nectar, and you gotta do what you gotta do, man. It's just one of them things, you know what I'm saying? So I just resilient. Man, I appreciate that, man. Thank you for that. Let me go back up. Where resilient? I don't know where that dropped at. There it is. Appreciate that, my brother. Thank you, man. Thank you. You can't control some of this stuff going on. This is a hard one, especially after last week when the community called the police due to the bees. And when the police showed up, he was attacked and was hospitalized. I'm sorry. I mean, okay, I'm going to leave that one alone. I'm not messing with that one. I mean, it's hard. It's a hard life out here. So Mark Mel said, our repellent do not kill insects. I think that goes back to G. Hud saying, yeah, but the GPS system kind of messed up. You know what I'm saying? All they doing, they just coming through the neighborhood to get to the projects. And I think what G. Hud's saying, as they coming through, they throwing out cans, they throwing out litter, they throwing out debris. But bees don't have that, so they throwing out poop. So I think in their travels to kind of get there, they leaving some residue, and that's what pissing them people off. So I'm just letting you know that. David Corey, how you doing? How you doing today? Many blessings to you. Let's see. Gigi. Gigi don't want to come up, y'all. Gigi leave me out here in the rain. She want to leave in the same. Let's see. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you for the thumbs up. But yeah, it's just one of them things. Sorry, I missed speaking. I'm like, you good. You good. I'm up to check my neck. Oh, she making all the soap. Y'all check out my Renaissance, y'all. She making that soap. And I will tell you, as a personal user of the soap, it's amazing. Y'all check her out. Check it out. Check it out. I had over 20 bees on my porch dead. AM still trying to figure out what that was all about. And I'm still trying to figure out. So I don't know. Some of y'all beekeepers tell me what make bees die. I never kept bees. I've been fascinated with it, but I just don't like getting stung, and I don't do well with getting stung. And they keep saying that bees, honeybees, the sting is different from the other bees and hornets and stuff like that. I just know every time I get stung, I swell up. So I've been kind of reluctant. That's the only reason. But I wouldn't mind growing some bees. And it's evident that they do well out here because almost all these fields have them. But yeah, I mean, they just blowing up the spot. And my question is, should you just say, hey, y'all tear down these projects, tear down these apartments, and go take them somewhere else because this is a good retirement community? Or do you do something simpler, just put a cover over your motorcycle, put a cover over your golf cart, put a cover over your trike, put a cover over your car, your truck. And then when you get ready to ride, then you take the cover off and you go ride. Or should that beekeeper say, I should give y'all pay for at least a discount or a portion of your car wash? I don't know. I don't know what's the happy um medium right now. I don't know if there is a happy medium. So regardless, there's issues, there's mayhem, there's a lot of different things that's going on. The beekeeper should relocate his bees. Hmm. How you know it's a he? Now I'm just messing with you. I don't know. I don't know who owns it. But anyway, yes, it's time for him to move to a bigger area. They're they're overgrown in the area. Okay, well now we got the opinions. Some giveaway. Okay, some giveaway. Okay. So regardless, this is the thing. There's a lot of different things that happen in nature. There's a lot of different things that happen in our world. And we just got to keep pushing through. We just got to keep looking at different things. So some of the lessons learned is keep your house in order. If you want to leave something for your next generation, go and do the paperwork. Do the best of your ability. Is it all safe, be safe? No, but will it protect your family and protect your intentions? Because sometimes we want to do what's right for our ancestors. We want to do what's right for our people, but we don't really have anything documented to really know what they really want. Don't get to the part where you keep putting it off, putting it off, putting it off. I'm talking to myself. Don't get to the part where you keep putting it off, putting it off, putting it off, where you don't make sure you take care of you and your fam. That is so important. Take care of you, your fam. So in order to do that in the right way, put your stuff in writing. Document your stuff. Don't just put it on a napkin, because the word has always been you can write it on a napkin. It's a contract. You write it on a napkin. But I think that you have to have witnesses or someone to confirm, and they have to be creditable. That's a lot of if. Go ahead and just submit it. Pay the little money, submit it, and secure your assets, y'all. Secure your assets for the next generation. Don't leave your family grieving and then have to be faced with liquidating your property. One more thing. If you got a lot of bees and you got bees in your hood, I don't know what you do. You have to work it out. Cause them bees, man, they thugged out, man. Y'all stay well, stay blessed. Hope you have a fabulous week. Hope everything that you touch, you feel is totally blessed. Hope everything that you do, may you receive abundance of nothing but gratitude, joy, and love. Y'all stay safe, stay well, stay blessed, and don't forget to keep on growing. Grow. Y'all take care, y'all. Much love.